Before you listen, if you enjoy the stories and want to hear more, then please consider subscribing. Most of you listening aren't subscribed, so please take this time to subscribe. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a story and be the first to hear. You'll also be supporting me. Thank you. It was just another boring Saturday night scrolling mindlessly through Facebook when I decided to do a random self-Google, just a silly impulse while vegging on the couch. Typing my name to the search bar, the usual links popped up. Abandoned Instagram I never post on anymore. Community theater show billings from a super cringy production of Chicago in college. But one unfamiliar search result halfway down the page made me pause. Meredith Parker. I clicked the link and inhaled sharply. Staring back from a small pixelated profile picture was a woman who looked exactly like me. Same long brown hair with loose waves, dark-rimmed hipster glasses perched on a nose sprinkled with faint freckles. Behind that mini doppelganger were several albums with names like Girls Beach Trip and Daniel's Graduation Party. The employment section listed her by grad school and everything. Okay, this was officially weirding me out to the max. I stared slack-jawed at mini-me Meredith Parker's profile, the cursor hovering over the Add Friend button hesitantly. This had to be some bizarre coincidence, right? What if she was literally pretending to be me, an identity thief harvesting my photos and personal information over time? I had zero clue who this person was smiling back innocently like we were old pals. Everything seemed safely private and she had no public posts I could further stalk. Curiosity won out, and before my courage failed, I quickly sent out a friend request. Bouncing my leg tensely on the couch, I hit refresh obsessively until a new notification popped up minutes later. Meredith Parker has accepted your friend request. We were now officially friends on Facebook. My skin prickled strangely at the sight of Mini-me's name in my connections list. I clicked over to her profile again before I lost nerve, determined to unravel the mystery of my bizarre doppelganger. Scrolling the sparse timeline, more uncanny similarities emerged. Mundane status updates about beloved college professors I had also gushed over back in the day. Obscure indie rock bands and podcasts I followed too. Even simple weekend posts chronicled activities exactly aligning with mine. Volunteering at the food pantry downtown, joining a casual women's soccer league. Seriously, what were the odds? I nervously laugh-reacted a status where she complained about her terrible bowling average and wanting to improve her score. Almost instantly, a notification popped up showing I had a new message from Meredith Parker herself. Haha, right? Maybe this will be the year we both break 100. Something tells me we have a lot in common, Meredith. I fell back against the cushions, slack-jawed yet again. Okay, this was getting unnerving. Was I being intentionally screwed with? Gaslit by a normal rando, somehow harvesting my photos and interests. If this wasn't the most elaborate punking ever, who even was this intimate stranger? Unable to resist peering farther down the rabbit hole, I kept combing Meredith Parker's timeline looking for the big gotcha, reveal that would end this spooky game. But every mundane post seemed lifted from my own average existence. Food pics at my favorite Thai place downtown. Cuddling with a gray tabby that could be my cat's twin. The only obvious difference was this Meredith was married to some guy named Steve I'd certainly never heard of. But otherwise, her timeline looked like I could have written it myself. Morbidly fascinated, but also nervous now, I finally worked up the courage to comment back. Leaning towards the screen intently, I awaited the response from this complete stranger who somehow knew me better than most flesh and blood friends in my actual life. The typing bubble appeared, then disappeared, then finally, Steve actually bought me that sweater off Etsy last Christmas. I'll DM you the link, isn't it fabulous? And yes, girl, get ready for me to stalk you big time. Feels like we were separated at birth. We need to meet up for a drink as soon as possible and swap stories. I sat immobilized in dismay, steeped in more questions than ever. This sounded like a perfectly nice normal woman aligned with me somehow on a deeply cosmic level, but also clearly fixated on the intimate details of my mundane existence enough to lift them as her own. What were her motives? Was I losing my mind or subject to an elaborate conspiracy fueled by secrets I didn't even know about myself? Unable to pull away from this virtual train wreck, I kept messaging Meredith Parker sporadically about our bizarre similarities over the next few weeks, comparing favorite bands, realizing we both hate eggplant, debating our shared obsession with true crime novels. Every microscopic preference we aligned on made my skepticism grow. It was like discovering a stranger had been studying the tedious minutiae of my days for quite some time, fully committing my identity to memory. Finally, the whole chilling charade reached peak levels when I jokingly mentioned someday taking our moms on a dream beach trip if I ever got rich. Meredith enthusiastically replied she had the same exact bucket list goal. Oh my God, yes. My mom would absolutely die if I took her to Cape Cod. It's been number one on her list forever. I froze with my Diet Coke dripping forgotten down my chin. Cape Cod was my mom's lifelong dream vacation that I'd quietly been stashing away for over the years. 100% certainty I had never written or uttered those words aloud before. Yet here they were in glowing pixels on my screen. This stranger once again pulling verifiable facts from some intimate mental catalog of my existence. Who was she? In one panicked motion, I blocked creepy cool Meredith Parker before quickly scrubbing my entire Facebook presence. No more oversharing life updates or selfies for this single white female to keep casually harvesting. Maybe I reacted rashly, ending our warped relationship so abruptly, but I wasn't taking any risks either. My run-in with digital doppelganger Meredith still freaks me out, wondering who that smiling mirror image actually was behind the screen. Cyberstalker studying me for years. A dimension-hopping alternate reality twin. An innocuous suburban mom randomly fixated on the trivial details of my average life. I suppose I'll truly never know if Meredith Parker was in soul sister separated at birth or calculating identity thief amused impersonating me so accurately from afar. But I realized then just how flimsy online privacy becomes once we eagerly surrender intimate personal fragments into the indifferent void. Be careful what details you share with the digital universe. You never know when some mysterious stranger will assemble those pieces into an almost perfect replica of your existence for their own inscrutable purposes. I was aimlessly scrolling Facebook one random Wednesday night when an unexpected friend recommendation popped up that instantly drained all warmth from my body. Rachel Littleton. Rachel, one of my absolute closest friends all through high school who tragically passed away our senior year. I can still vividly picture every agonizing detail surrounding the morning we got pulled from first period calculus and told to report silently to the guidance counselor's office. The gray faces staring back as we walked numbly down those endless beige hallways, the stench of floor polish and stale textbooks, shafts of harsh fluorescence glinting off the ugly green lockers. When they finally told us gently about the car accident, I collapsed hard onto industrial gray carpet, feeling something vital rupture inside. A primal release of ragged screams and heaving sobs echoed through that small room for hours as we clung together processing pure agony. Losing Rachel so unexpectedly at only 17 years old completely shattered my world. She was supposed to be helping me pick the perfect prom dress that weekend. Attending her funeral in a fog of anguish just days later became the single most excruciating ordeal I've ever faced. So how was Rachel Littleton smiling radiantly up at me now? The ghost of Facebook past resurrected on my phone screen tonight. I clicked her name with trembling hands, half expecting the glowing profile pic to vanish in a poof of smoke. But instead, Rachel's page sprang up looking exactly the same as I last saw it nearly 6 years ago. That lustrous photo surrounded by flowing honey blonde hair as Rachel leaned into the camera mid-laugh, green eyes glittering at some long-forgotten party. Scrolling hesitantly, I noted recent posts from old high school friends mourning lost moments together on sad landmark anniversary dates. Another birthday without you, Rachel, which heaven had cell service so I could still spam you with memes. Someone wrote under a blurry photo I vaguely recognized from senior year football games. My brows furrowed. Did they not realize Rachel had passed away? Everything seemed bafflingly active for someone gone for years. Heart pounding, I combed through her page searching for clues. Song lyrics friends had dedicated to Rachel after first hearing the tragic news. Bittersweet photos of our cheering squad celebrating a final win together. Her random philosophical ramblings about the indie bands we obsessed over. It was like discovering a buried time capsule unearthed, avalanching me under teenage memories. Yet nothing indicated this was a memorial page maintained in tribute. As far as I could tell, everyone interacting assumed present-day ghost Rachel could see and respond back, which was utterly impossible, right? I turned off my phone, hand shaking badly. What kind of weird glitch was causally rerunning a deceased girl's Facebook, as if the last 6 years of absence never occurred? This couldn't be real. Part of me wondered if I was losing my grip on reality altogether. I avoided Rachel's profile for weeks, unable to process such a surreal digital resurrection. But morbid curiosity eventually drew me back again late one sleepless night. I had to know where this insane rabbit hole led. Who was puppeteering my friend's account so actively? Scoring every post, I searched desperately for explanations about the bizarre online preservation. But it was all so innocuous, mundane memories friends posted on meaningful days over the years, never directly stating the obvious fact that Rachel had physically died, instead tagging her to suggest hypothetical real-world meetups. Bizarre, and even eerier, a bunch of unfamiliar faces had commented recently, casually asking Ghost Rachel about hanging out again soon, almost like they thought she could see and respond beyond the grave. I spent hours messaging old high school friends now scattered everywhere, asking if they could also still access Rachel's account. Everyone who responded shared my horror and confusion. A few callous weirdos even suggested I was orchestrating some elaborate prank pretending our friend had ever died at all, which stung deeply considering I still wore the friendship bracelet Rachel gave me to hold during her wrenching funeral. Clearly we all mourned losing her together. Yet here was Rachel's Facebook somehow enduring, an interactive monument frozen cheerfully in time by ghosts of the past. But it seemed invasive, allowing a glitchy algorithm to puppeteer her page this way forever. No amount of loving tags and memories could ever resurrect the actual Rachel now. That cold reality haunted me as I watched posts pile up on her wall over days, then weeks. I had to set our friend free and close the book on this unsettling chapter for good. In one decisive moment, I reported the page in all violating posts impersonating Rachel's identity. Almost instantly the entire account vanished, blinking offline silently. No more glimpses into what could have been or bittersweet tags keeping her spirit engaged with past joys. Just an empty white screen when I typed Rachel's name, the final digital death duplicating the real one she endured too young one tragic midnight hour. I sat numbly staring into nothingness as I said one last goodbye. The clicking keys striking her profile from existence mirrored the brutal permanence of Rachel's sudden physical end. That vital light within her snuffed out instantly by reckless circumstance beyond our control. Now even her enduring electronic echo silenced forever, laid to rest by a few forceful clicks. I hoped deleting that frozen digital shrine would finally allow everyone's lingering grief to thaw naturally over time. No more suspended animation of halting us and of haunting what-ifs with a teen girl now perpetually 18. We had to walk forward carrying Rachel's joyful spirit with us while letting go this eerie counterfeit tethering us to the past. Wherever her vibrant soul traveled after leaving that mangled car, I prayed she understood why I set the Facebook version free. Goodbye, Rach. I'll miss you always. Okay, I'll fully admit, I tend to overshare on social media at times. But come on, doesn't everyone brag a little posting cute couple selfies and glam night out pics? I just like giving my childhood friends back home a peek into my exciting new big city life after moving across the country by myself. Sue me for scoring an awesome apartment and fulfilling jobs straight out of college. So at first I didn't think much of it when I got a random Facebook message from some dude named Steve I'd never heard of before. Probably just a friendly stranger stumbling across my profile. His message seemed harmless enough at first glance. Hey Jessica, couldn't help but notice in your pictures that we live in the same neighborhood now. What a crazy coincidence, huh? Maybe I'll see you around. I mean, okay, a little weird perhaps, but I set most pics to public, so no real cause for alarm. I figured Steve was just some overly friendly neighbor, also new to town trying to make local connections. Maybe he recognized my cute coffee shop selfies geotagged down the street or something. Nobody. I didn't respond, but also didn't block him right away. Didn't see the need to be rude just yet. When a new message popped up the very next week that made my skin prickle strangely. Saw your cute doggo Max in another pic today in the park down the block. He seems like a handful lugging that huge tennis ball around. Too funny. I frowned, scanning back through my recent posts. Sure enough, I had uploaded a photo of Max romping after his ball at the dog park nearby just a few days before. I definitely didn't know anyone named Steve there. So how did he know? Another message came the following week. Looks like you had a fun Friday night out. That red dress is really pretty on you. Love that bar you went to with the cool neon lights. Enjoy the weekend. Okay, wow, way too specific. Those photos were posted publicly after meeting some old college friends for dinner downtown. But Steve somehow sleuthed out the exact location just from glimpsing vague shapes in the background. Plus, knowing my Friday night plans and commenting approvingly on my outfit pushed this over the line from odd neighborly chit-chat into creepy invasion of privacy. I toddled over to Steve's profile, ready to block his lurking behind. But strangely, everything was locked down on private. No profile pic, posts, basic bio details, nothing. This guy was a total ghost with zero visible connections, yet spoke so casually about my evenings out, events with friends, even my fashion choices and dog's daily activities. A chill ran down my spine imagining this faceless phantom casing my social media presence for clues about my real-life comings and goings anytime I shared a post publicly. Another invasive message popped up the following afternoon. Having a cozy Sunday watching movies on new couch I see. Looks comfy. Did you ever try that cute Mediterranean place on your block too? Saw you walked by it last Thursday on your way to yoga. You should check it out. My stomach dropped reading Steve's creepy play-by-play of my lazy weekend captured online and eerily merged with granular details about my neighborhood habits somehow. I could practically hear the smirk in his words, envisioning me curled up, clueless on my new IKEA couch amidst the vulnerability of my oversharing. It made my skin crawl picturing this stranger logging my every move behind the scenes, thanks to careless social media crumbs I dropped. Hands shaking angrily now, I pulled up Facebook options to block Steve and report his disturbing lurking to admins. But just as I hovered over the decisive buttons that would banish this phantom from my world for good, one last nerve-rattling message appeared. Don't worry, Jessica, blocking me won't help. I'll still see your pics when you post cute weekend plans with friends. But I have enough details now to introduce myself soon in person. Have a chill rest of your day. I recoiled in horror and instantly slammed the block button before hurling my phone away in revulsion. Who the hell was this Steve Spector tuned into my online activity? How did he scrape together so many waking life references from the stray images and check-ins I haplessly posted for friends to see? It sank in how much random digital debris we all shed daily without a thought. Endless mundane photos allowing strangers to silently piece together our routines, friend groups, careers, pets, neighborhood haunts, outfits we feel confident wearing, vulnerably unguarded personal spaces. Even small visual clues progenate relentlessly into more intimate inferences, if someone wants to connect those invasive dots bad enough. I shudder imagining how much ammo creepy Steve gathered covertly through my deceptively public posts to engineer a casual run-in someday soon. My finger hovered hesitantly over the new photo I was about to upload innocently for friends. But the acidic aftertaste of Steve's intrusion made me question everything I shared now, imagining his malicious silhouette lurking right outside the frame of every post. Some disturbing stranger cataloging personal information I happily gave away for free just by living my life through social media's panopticon. I ended up deleting all old pics, strictly limiting locations displayed moving forward, and vowing to keep things surface level only with captions. No more revealing snippets for potential stalkers to collect and craft into unwanted intimacy. You truly never know what gently sinister intentions hide behind an online hello. Now I post much less about my real existence, and doubt far more when strangers introduce themselves claiming, I think we have a friend in common. Maybe we do, or perhaps we only met because you were secretly surveilling my digital footprint, waiting silently for enough pinpoints to expose my exact path home. No thanks to either. Steve and his watchful ilk can enjoy whatever false narrative they construct from my guarded crumbs floating untraceably into the indifferent void these days. As for me, I share only for the right eyes now behind stronger privacy walls. Thanks for listening in. If you like these stories and want to hear more, then please subscribe and like and support this new channel. We have more stories for you to listen to.